Oompa loompa doompa dee schmans. I have another thing to say about Datacrons. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. We're in the plan, folks. This is my weekly show that talks about the various news and releases in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and things that are happening around the community. We've got some discussion on Datacrons. We've got the new Jabba requirements. Got a question, when is the profundity going to be here? And lots more. A new mod and everything. It's going to be great. You guys are going to think it's wonderful, I'm sure. So before we start, just want to remind you guys, if you want to support this channel for free, all you've got to do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment, mount the algorithm with me, guys. It's fun, it's free, it's wonderful, it benefits me. See how I rhyme? I'm good at rhyming. Let's talk about mods, though. First, I found another one, guys. This mod is fine. It's okay. It's got a bunch of percent things, so that's cool. Secondaries, percent secondaries. And if we roll it 2 more times, it can get up to 30 if we get 2 perfect rolls. So we're going to try this again. Bo-Katan is just hanging out with her 6A mod now that's still only 18 speed. So that was a total failure. Hopefully this season, or hopefully this time, we can even get 1 roll on speed. So we're going to do 1 every week, and we'll see. I think the only thing I really like about this mod is that it's crit chance set with crit chance secondary. It doesn't have any offense on it, though, so it's already kind of an inferior mod. So, alright, I upgraded it to this lovely 6E, and next week we'll find out if we can get a speed roll, or if it's going to be something a little less interesting and unfortunate. Alright, Darth Malgus, on my account, I just got him to Relic 9 because the new Jabba requirements are out and they don't have a Relic 9. I was like, hey, I'll just spend Relic 9 on Malgus because he's crazy. Everyone is getting holds with him in GAC because 5v5 is different than 3v3. And what I wanted to do, guys, so is special that he can spam with his Datacron is all, like, it does damage based on his max health. So what I wanted to show you guys, I thought it was interesting. How much health does he gain? And this is after I modded him for full health. That means he's got a health arrow. Everything is health set. Everything, you know, a health set, health primary arrow or triangle, cross, everything. Everything's health. So at Relic 8, he's at 146k health. At Relic 9, he's at 173k. And I mean, this is just under 30,000 extra health, guys. It's not only does it make him substantially tankier, it also gives him a lot more damage. So I would say that after Jedi Master Luke at Relic 9, I would say Malgus is honestly the number 2. Not the number, he's not poop, but he is the second priority for Relic 9, in my opinion. Now, that could change. We don't know a ton about him, but so far, it's looking really promising. It's looking like he's going to be really tough to shift at, like, right on the order of Starkiller. Starkiller is amazing. I think Malgus is going to be right there, right next to Starkiller, and that's kind of fun, I think. It's nice to have a new crazy team, and it's a really good team on defense. Everyone's just going to throw a GL at it, and, you know, it's a big GL. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Relic 9. Right now, I think that's worth it. All right, so CG released a big thing about the missing ability buttons, and I think this is cool. It kind of pisses me off because it's like, well, why don't you do this about other things? Can you just talk about other things like this ever? Could you please just talk to the community about, like, you know, they're kind of transparent. They're like, hey, we have issues. Here are the issues. And I don't know. I think that's cool. I think it's cool that they're like, hey, here's how the things work. Here's the thing. Let's talk about, like, There's a ton of things, like, whatever. We'll talk more about communication later. Of course, that's just like, I just want him to talk to us, guys. You know? I love this game. I just want him to talk to us, and this is cool. Like, there's a bug. Yes, we know there's a bug. We've got spaghetti code. It's a whole huge, ridiculous mess, but we want to do right by you, and we're going to try to fix it. Here is everything we know. Please help us. I wish they did that with everything. They did release the second set of Jabba Requirements, and this is really interesting because it's not that bad. I mean, so first off, I guess not many people are going to have Jabba or Relic. But, I mean, they don't even need high relics. None of these are high relics. This is remarkably forgiving, considering most people are going to have Jedi Knight Luke and C-3PO. Luke is already going to be at 7, and 3PO is going to be at 5, which is, I mean, the 6 and 7, it's a decent step, but it's not that tough to get there. The biggest thing, of course, is Scando being required at Relic 5, and Scando is just now released. Not to mention his gearing is obnoxious AF. It is so crazy, but otherwise, this isn't too bad. I mean, if you look at the total requirements, this is for my main account. The only Relic 8 that is required so far is Han Solo, and then we have a couple Relic 7s in Jedi Luke and C-3PO. Then the rest is Greedo at 6, and everyone else is 5 or less. Now, there are 2 marquee characters that we're going to have to farm like crazy when they're finally released, and then put gear on them. But so far, this is really nice. So I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, if Profundity is requiring a Relic 9, you almost have to require a Relic 9 on... For Jabba, for a Galactic Legend. I would be so surprised if there's not a 9. I don't know what it's going to be, but it seems like there should be, kind of. Or maybe they're backing off on the Relic requirements because they're requiring marquee characters that nobody has unless you've whaled on them. I'm not sure what to think, but this is an interesting development, and the fact that there's no Relic 9s right here was the thing that prompted me to get that Malgus Relic 9. So here's Scando here, Skiff Guard Lando, for those of you who are slow on the uptake. I'm there for you, sometimes, not always. Keep up. So we've got Scando here. He's holding his weird helmet, his mosquito net helmet is what it looks like when he's you know, hanging out, just you know, vibing to the tune of battle. But so I got him to level 11, gear 11. I don't crack in on these guys. I'll light whale, which is buying him in shipments sometimes. But look at these pieces. He needs 2 of these. These are probably the grossest pieces in the game, folks. You need a Mark IV comlink, which goes with a cuff. And then you need a thermal detonator, which requires a carbanti. And you need a Mark 11, or is that 9? It's 9er. Thermal as well. And you don't get many stats. And he needs 2 of them, guys. He needs 2 of them. Look at his total gear requirements. I did cut the list in half. The other ones are the lower requirements. And yes, there's a lot, but the things I wanted to highlight are 400 carbs. Okay, a lot of characters do that. 400 total Chirotech pieces. 200 Mark IV comlinks. 300 stun cuffs. 200 thermal detonators, and then others. You guys can read it, but it's a lot. It's a big list, guys. There's a lot required here. It's crazy, man. I don't know. We'd have to look to see if there's anyone else who requires this much. But do you guys remember when they were like, hey, we're adding Cairo to help with the gear crunch? You know, we're not going to bottleneck things. And now they're like, hey, we've been giving you a bunch of core gear. We want it back. We want it back, and we'll collect it via Scando. This is a lot, guys. This is so stupid. I don't know. I usually... Here's an interesting thing. Most people will complain about CG being awful for one reason or another, and they're either right or, I mean, they could be right, they could be wrong, whatever, but almost never do people complain about, oh man, CG requiring so much gear, how dare they? I don't hear that often. It's a very interesting phenomenon of like, why aren't why don't people care? Like, CG's gonna rob us via gear as well, but I don't hear those complaints. It's very interesting. It's just like, oh, CG, they're a force of nature. May as well. Why are we complaining about the wind? All right, this is one of my favorites, guys. So pretty soon we're gonna get Andor, and we're gonna get the new Bad Batch season and everything, and all of our attention's gonna go away from the Kenobi show, which I thought was pretty fantastic. I'm sure that other people have other opinions, but I just like, you know, the Owen just being savage memes. They're pretty good, but this is one of my favorites because it just underlines just how far gone Anakin really is. Like, you want the Sith Lord to stand trial, but then Anakin's just gonna like kill Dooku just for fun. I don't know. Owen looking out for everyone, being all savage and stuff, and then randomly, ignominiously dying to sand troopers a few years later. Wonderful. All right, so people have a question people don't ask me, and I frankly think they should be asking, should we still be working on Inquisitors? And what people tell me, they don't ask me, should we be working on them? They tell me, no way, man, I'm not working on them. They're worthless. Grand Inquisitor sucks. And let's just get it out of the way. He's not wonderful. He has some uses. There's some good things about him, but yeah, he's not that interesting. Not that good. I defended him. Embarrassing. Egg on my face. I get it. Like, not wonderful. But the squad itself, I think you should be working on them still. Slowly, perhaps, but I think they should be worked on. Not because the squad is good, per se. I think it's because you need them later. You'll need them now, you'll need them later. Here's the thing, there's already a ton of events that require them. CG's made a concerted effort. It's been very well documented. So many galactic challenges require Inquisitors, and if you have Grand Inquisitor, it's a whole lot easier. You know how I know? Because I have Grand Inquisitor. It's a lot easier than trying to do it on my main or on my alt, where I can't do it, and I don't get as good of rewards, and over time that's going to cost me. The thing is, they're not great, but if you need them to do PvE things like Conquest, there's a ton of feats for. There are a ton of reasons you want them to be geared up right now, and a lot of that has to do with all of the resources that are just going to be flowing your way if you actually spend on them. Or not spend, sorry, if you invest on them. I know that they're not fun, they're not great, so get Second Sister up first because she's a pilot of a great ship, and then work on Ninth because she's a pretty good tank, and then work on 7th because she's got a strangely modulated voice, and I keep thinking she should be Barriss because she's the same species, and it would make sense that she would have turned to the dark side and become an Inquisitor, but it's not. It's just some random other character that is a dark side force user who is the same species as Barriss, but she's not Barriss. I guess that Miriolans, I think is what they're called. Just susceptible to the dark side. It doesn't matter. You can, but I would advise slowly putting gear on them, not just rushing them. You don't have to get Grand Inquisitor right away, but here's the thing. So right now you want the assault battle, you want the galactic challenges stuff, you want, like, there's all, conquest rewards, all these things. And then if they put out a territory battle, which I have a video out on, the crate expectations, the most recent one, you guys can go check that out. I think that there might be a new territory battle soon, and if there is, I think Inquisition could be a key squad to unlock a new character, in which case maybe they could use that character, maybe not, but we don't have Reva yet. I think the squad has a lot of potential, it's just not quite there yet. Maybe Reva saves them, maybe she doesn't, maybe they are used to unlock some random new Ewok or something, but my guess is if we're unlocking some random new Ewok, we're going to want that random new Ewok, and your guild is going to want him, and if you don't have Inquisition ready, then, probably the rest of your guild doesn't either. But this, I think, very slow, just methodical, try to get one of them to gear 12 every month, or something like that. I don't think that would be too egregious, and it might really help down the line. That's what I think. We should still be working on Inquisitors, especially Second Sister, because her ship is amazing. And frankly, Grand Inquisitor Squad is not horrible. It's just not the priority. So let's talk a little bit about Datacrons here, folks. So I know not everyone likes Datacrons. I have enjoyed the theorycraft of them, like the direct application of them. I do enjoy, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I know some people don't, and I'm not going to condemn you for that. We all play our parts, we all have our preferences, and I just like the theorycraft of them. I think that's interesting. I like the changes. I do. There are still issues I have with Datacrons, though, guys. And let's just go for it. Like, the first one is the RNG is crazy. You have to roll so many times. It's like, okay, is it light side or dark side? Oh man, I was really wanting a dark side, but I rolled a light side. Do I have to re-roll it? Do I have to just get a new one? Let's hope for good RNG. Oh, like I've rolled 8 of them in a row and they're all light side. What's the deal? I don't want to have to refresh now. Man, okay, cool. So I got the cool one. I finally got it for Malgus. Wonderful. I have it for Malgus. But I don't have any good stats for him. He doesn't care about like special damage or crit chance, whatever. He doesn't care about, that's not something he cares about. So let's re-roll to get armor. And what happens is we get frustrated and we spend money. We buy a pack, we buy crystals to be able to buy things in shipments. And it's just so RNG because they want us to spend. And that level of manipulation makes me angry because I fall for it sometimes, frankly. I'm a spender. I'm like, oh, hey, let me just open my pocketbook. We'll fix this. And I don't like that, especially because, so I can get it eventually. I can get the thing I want eventually if I want to spend enough money. And it might not even hurt me personally, but free-to-play don't have that access, really. Not usually, unless they've hoarded a lot of crystals, but I don't think that's the wisest expenditure. But, like my alt, this is a really tough conquest for me. I'm not going to get many Datacrons because I have to be grinding. And to be clear, this is Sarah who's grinding it, I don't have it, but it's also very hard. I'm not going to get a lot of mats, so it would be nice to actually have something reliable about them, but they are just not reliable. It's frustrating. The RNG is everywhere, on all the rerolls, on all the everything. Even when you're grinding Conquest, you're like, man, okay, I really need credits. So let's just grind let's grind the level 5, Sector 5 node. Except you can't grind it, cause, I mean, you can maybe grind it, but you're like, okay, I guess I'll just get a bunch of stuff that aren't credits. That's not reliable. Everything, too much RNG. Some of the types are weighted, like the Bando one. I've rolled it like a bunch of times trying to get the whistling birds, the mega nuke whistling birds, and I can't get it because it's weighted. Some of them are rarer than others, and they haven't disclosed which ones are rarer than others. I don't know if that's a breach of their disclosure stuff. I know that some people have suggested it. Like if you're trying to get some kind of a pack that's like a gamble pack, they have to tell you the odds. They don't tell us the odds. What if the Bando one is just like 1% for me to get? And I just keep re-rolling, and I'm like, let's just keep spending money. Let's keep going. It's frustrating. I would like that one. I can't get it, and it's stupid because they don't tell us how often we are going to actually be able to roll it. They're just like, yeah, it totally exists, but they haven't. And they are weighted. They've admitted to them being weighted. I also don't like that CG is using us to test. I don't know how they get around something as crazy huge as Datacrons, but they've admitted something along the lines of like, yeah, we're monitoring the data. And they are, guys. They're paying attention. They're just not telling us anything about it. And they've just been pretty blatant. They're like, yeah, okay, once the exhibition season's done, that's what they're calling this, then we're going to make changes. And they're going to do it based on all the data that they've been collecting. The reason they've been changing, like what's in shipments, how often things are showing up, which packs are there, what packs come out when, is all because they want to see how people are engaging and what they're doing. I think eventually they're going to make some substantial changes to Conquest, to this game mode to, or whatever, Datacron, it's a game mode, but I think they're gonna make some changes to it. They haven't told that, like, they're not, it's just very easy to lose hope that they're doing anything. They are testing, using us to test. I feel a little resentful. I'm like, making me spend money, not making me, but like, as a spender, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I want an advance, I want to keep up with people, so let's spend some money. And spending money on things that, you know, eventually aren't even going to be the future because they're going to change it. And I do just want to point out, guys, they do test everything else. People are like, oh yeah, we're always testing things for them. Like, they have testers, like they have people who test things. Yes, sometimes things come out unbalanced, but for the most part, they're decently balanced, guys. They are. Most character kits, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good in the context of this. Like, yeah, they make mistakes, but this is different. This is like, they're collecting a lot of data from this. They're just, and I don't know how they could replace it. Maybe I'm just being misguided here. It makes me feel a little resentful. And I think the thing that underlines all of it is they're just not communicating. It's very frustrating. They're not communicating. I would like to know what they're thinking about Datacrons, what they're gonna do. You hear people interview Crumb, and you can hear the desperation and frustration in their voices. They're like, please, don't let us use Datacrons anymore. Don't make us use Datacrons. We hate them. We hate them precious. And CG's like, yeah, you know, like Crumb's like, yeah, we're working on it. I like Crumb. He's a nice guy. I don't think he's I think he's just can't say much about it. But that's the problem. Why can't they say much? I'm sure there are reasons. I just want to know more. And it frustrates me. You can see these little glimmers. It's like, hey, they talked about the missing buttons bug. Like, that's a good thing. They're acknowledging it. They're asking for help. They're, you know, positive things about that. And then with Datacrons, they're like, oh yeah, well, maybe we'll change like that. They're going to change probably things like how long the cycle is. Like, we're going to have 2 months worth of each set or something like that. They're going to do this. But if I have to go listen to some obscure podcast to be told that there's going to be a little bit of hope for Datacrons, then there's an issue with their communication. I can't find that in game. I can't find that on the forums. There's no mention of it anywhere. Just some obscure blink and you'll miss it podcast or show on Twitch or whatever. And that's it. Thank you. Thanks for the information, I guess. And we still don't get that much. It's a little bit frustrating. One thing I did want to ask you guys, so there's this thing going around. A lot of people have told me this specifically, like they've told as a response to me talking about how Kyber 1 is shrinking and Kyber 2, etc. And we're not going to go over those numbers. I do appreciate all of you guys' feedback. Last plan, that was a really good amount of data. I actually did sway a lot of my thinking. It was a good amount of data. However, one of the things that people have cited to me, and I haven't really found a lot of evidence to back this up, is when players quit, they always give their account to someone else so that they can use it as a second account. So they can use it as their alt. Which is extremely burdensome. And all the people I've asked specifically about it, I'm like, okay, so does this happen in your guild? Is there anyone in your guild who's done this? Is there anyone in your guild who's about to quit and is about to do this? And every single time I've asked, they've said, no one in our guild and no one's about to. And I know this happens, especially on the top end. A lot of the people who are watching this might have seen this happen. I just wonder how common this truly is, because someone asked me if I wanted their 11 million account. They did. They were like, hey, I'm quitting. You want my 11 million? And I was like, no, don't you wish that evil on me? Like, that's horrible. I don't want another account. I already quit my smaller account, my Prevail Man account, because I don't have time. I run 1.5 accounts because Professor X is half Sarah's at this point, honestly. She does the other half. She runs most things on it. And, I mean, I don't want any part in another account. Most people don't. I'm curious though, how many of you have a guild where it's like, yeah, with like 7 of us do that? Like literally 14 accounts more represented between the 7 of us. I would be very interested to know. It seems like it's not a total myth. It seems like it's not as robust in truth as possible. So one thing I don't have an issue with, guys, and this is a thing that people focus on a lot. They're always telling me, why can't we use Datacrons in PvE? And first off, it's a PvP thing, and a lot of people, this is something that, to me, it seems obvious, but maybe it isn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just flawed in my thinking, but okay, so right now, if we applied Datacrons, then we could do, like, say, territory battles easier. We could do, I mean, Dark Side easier. We could do a lot of things. We could get the cam mission done, the Rancor for people who are on the edge of being able to do it. Like, there's a lot of things that might be good for the community if we could use Datacrons. However, if they created more new PvE stuff, which if they do make a new territory battle, that would fit right in. If they do that, they're going to tune that new PvE thing to having Datacrons, and you don't want to be in a position where you're like, okay, I need Jedi, I need to roll a good Jedi set, or you know, if I don't have the good one from Jedi Knight Luke, then I'm screwed. I can't even do PvE. I can't even participate. What if you take a month off and that's the set that you needed? Like, I don't think you actually want to try to tie PvE success to your RNG on Datacrons. I just don't think, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to worry about that. That seems miserable as hell to me. I hate that idea, in fact. But, I mean, sure, it's frustrating not to be able to use them on other game modes, but it's like, if they start tuning them to Datacrons, it's going to have the same issue. Like, you want Datacrons to be the only thing that matters to your whole account? I don't think so. If you already dislike Datacrons, why are you pushing to use them in more nodes? Not to mention, you have to have Relic 3 on all your characters if you want to actually use a Datacron. So, I mean, I guess have at it. It just seems like that's not going to be fun. Not to mention, I like lightsaber territory battles in the sense that I learn how to do a thing. It's not easy mode anymore, or it's not easy mode at all, and you try to go and get more waves. That's fun. To me, it's satisfying. So, I don't know. So should we still be patient? I think in general, in life, I would advise patience. Here's the thing. I know that I'm like, let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see. And there's a lot of things to hate about this. There's a lot of frustrating things. People are quitting. People are frustrated. I get it. And if you really hate it that much, then leave. You should probably do you. I'm not telling you like, yuck, leave. I'm saying like, I won't begrudge anyone who feels like they need to leave. That's just how it needs to be sometimes. However, I just want to point out, first off, we're going to have substantial changes. Once CG finishes this exhibition season, they're going to take all their data, they're going to like stuff it in some machine, and it's going to say, hey, change things to this and this and this and this, and like Datacrons are going to be different. They're just going to be different. Like right now, this is the test phase. We're testing. Sucks, like I said, but that's how it is. But there's also a big PvE update coming. Whether it is a territory battle or something else, if you hate Datacrons, a lot of times, a lot of people who hate Datacrons hate them because it adds more complexity to PvP, and you don't like PvP as much. I know that's oversimplifying it, and that's not true for everyone. However, PvE stuff is being ignored recently because they've been doing PvP stuff at, PvE is on its way, though. They're going to revamp stuff. They're going to be doing stuff. Maybe that's going to help. Maybe. I don't know. Those are things that might bring hope to someone who's about to quit. That's all I'm saying. Finally, when are we getting Profundity? I don't know. If they copied exactly when they announced Executor to when the event happened, it should have either been last week or this week. It didn't happen either week. So now we're in uncharted territory, and I don't know. So be ready. Get it right. Get it ready soon, guys. It'll be any time. Every week I'm gonna say this. I think it'll be next week. So, all right, guys. Calling it good here. Let me know what your thoughts are. Love to hear your feedback. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth has a plan. Not always.